What's up, y'all? My name is Fitz. Welcome to the channel. I'm gonna do a quick live tonight. Just say something that's on my heart and in my mind. If you are tapping in live, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Also on the replay, hit the like button, subscribe. We're almost at 2,000 subs. Tonight, I want to talk about how to recenter yourself as a man when life is tough, right? I don't feel like we have this conversation enough. Oftentimes we're told that as men, we need to go through life and we need to just put on a tough face. Put on a tough face, muscle through it, be strong, and everything will work out. Right? It doesn't matter what you're going through. Someone just died, you just lost a job. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills at the end of the month. You ain't getting no sex, you ain't getting no empathy, no sympathy, nobody looking out for you. You don't have no one to turn to. You feel like you're all alone. These are all things that at some point in time, every man is going to go through, whether it's all of them or some of them, a mix in between. And I want to have a conversation on how you get recentered. Now, I know there's a lot of men online that will come at this from a religious standpoint, or they'll tell you get a relationship with God and stuff like that. I'm not going to go there with this conversation. I want to talk practical things that you can do in your own life to recenter yourself as a man. So first, I think that in order to recenter yourself and have a place that you can go to when things are tough, you need to meditate, right? I think it's not just on some spiritual stuff. A lot of people hear meditation and they think spiritual and you rising off the ground, and that's not what I'm talking about. Not from a spiritual place. But when you meditate, there are many benefits to doing that. One, when you control your breath and take in more oxygen and breathe out and focus on your breathing, what you're doing is you're opening new neural pathways, and you're also positioning yourself to control your emotions better when you're in situations, right? When you're in situations that are tough, this is what can actually make your life even more stressful, because what happens is, and it's called the two darts, right? I read this in a book called Buddha's Brain. There's two darts. The first dart you throw, that's your initial reaction, right? That's your initial reaction to something. It's that second dart. It's that reaction after the fact, right? That's what gets you in the most trouble. So someone says something to you and you respond. And then it's your response after that that really gets you in, because now you're in your emotions, you're not able to control yourself, and then it just creates a domino effect where you go down and down and down because you keep on buying into the emotions that are putting you in a negative position and ultimately not putting you in the position of where you want to win. And so this is why having a routine of meditation that can really help you manage your emotions when it matters most, that's going to be vital in my opinion. That's going to be vital in my opinion. And what I can tell you is that meditation actually changed my life. It made me a much calmer person when things happened. I used to be somebody that would just fly off the handle whenever I didn't like something. I was 0 to 100 real quick. And you know what meditation also does is it allows you to really think through some of the things that are on your mind and bothering you. What up? We got Gypsy in the chat. He said, hi, I'm from New Zealand. They said, hi, I'm from New Zealand. What up? But it really allows you to put yourself in a position to think through things. And when you're in a position to think through your emotions and do what you need to do, it puts you in a much better position to win. We got David in the chat. He said, how do you meditate? So how I personally meditate is I like to get somewhere quiet as you can get. And I like to focus on my breathing. And what I do is I count to 5 on the inhale. So I'll go. And I'll count to 5 on the exhale. When you count to 5 on the inhale and count to 5 on the exhale, what you're doing is training your mind to focus on things, and the thoughts that are coming in, you're allowing yourself to not judge them, but just be with your breath and be with yourself as you focus on counting on the inhale and exhale. And it's not easy at first, because when you're sitting there alone, and this is another thing, a lot of people don't sit alone with their thoughts. They have to post it online, or they have to act it out, and they have to go call someone and tell them and vent, which is cool if that's what you want to do. But when you're sitting by yourself and it's quiet and you can actually reflect, and the goal is not to focus on thinking about anything, but just to be with yourself and focus on your breathing, you'll see that a lot of thoughts come in, and then you're able to go out and be the person you want to be because you sat with those thoughts and you didn't judge them, you didn't react to them, and you were able to focus on something other than those thoughts when they were occurring. And so I think it's good, like if you want to start meditating, look up some YouTube videos. There are a lot of great YouTube videos, but what I personally like to do is focus on that counting at first. There's another one where if you have a phrase or something like an affirmation or just something positive that you want to focus on and repeat in your mind as you're doing the inhale and exhale, that's a great one. I've also tried where you don't focus on your breathing at all, but you just allow the thoughts to come in, and then you don't judge them, and you just continue breathing, and you allow whatever feeling you're feeling to just course through. So there are many different ways to meditate. I don't think there's one right way, but if you get in the habit of just taking time out to focus on your breathing, get in a headspace to where you're calming yourself down and being with your thoughts, I really think that's going to improve your life. We got a comment. How do you meditate? Elijah said, hi. Cool. So the next thing that I think is important for recentering yourself as a man is exercise. Exercise is vital because what exercise is going to do is it's going to allow you to get rid of some of that energy. One, we as men, we have a lot of pent up energy that I don't think that we realize we need to use. Exercise is going to allow you to release some of that pent up energy. It's also going to allow your body to release chemicals like dopamine and serotonin and the happy chemicals that allow you to be in a better headspace to process whatever you're going through. I like to look at working out not only just to build up your physical endurance and mental endurance, but sort of like an armor that gives you time to really be with yourself, even if you're in a gym or whatever, but really be with yourself and work on yourself, hit some goals, get your body moving. A lot of the issues we have in life are just because we're not moving our body as well. We're not moving our body, and we're not putting ourselves in the best position to be ready for illness and things like that. And that does have an impact on your overall quality of life and how you process and deal with problems as well. Stress, all of that. So one of the reasons why I think that this conversation is lacking on how to reset as a man is because, like I said earlier, we're not conditioned to believe that men need to reset or men need to be in a positive mind space, that we should just tackle all of our problems and never take care of ourselves. But, especially as a father, a husband, when you're working on yourself, right? When you're working on yourself, if you view yourself as a leader, you have to understand that your commitment to yourself is also your commitment to other people. So when you're in a good mood and you're leading with love, then your family is more receptive to that. When you say, I'm exercising, and you make a commitment to exercise, your family's more likely to do it. When you meditate and you get yourself in a proper headspace and your kids do something that bothers you, now you're able to come from a place of love and a place of discipline and authority that is in alignment with values instead of in alignment with your anger. And there's a huge difference between those two. And so it comes down to being intentional. As men, we have to be more intentional with how we're taking care of ourselves. We have to be more intentional about the energy that we want to put out into the world, especially as a husband, especially as a father. Because guess what? If you're a true leader, then what you pour into your kids, they're going to take to school. They're going to take into the world. Your wife, she's going to take that into the world. She's going to take that into her job, and she's going to reflect that onto you. And so I want to think holistically about what it means to work through tough situations as a man. Not just willpower, not just strength, but thinking holistically. If you're doing the preventative measures, when the real stuff happens, you're going to be in a better position to win. Right? You're going to be in a better position to win. Why? Because you've done the work behind the scenes. You've done the training. You've put up your 1,000 shots for the day. You've made those daily deposits, as my homie says. You've done what you've needed to do to put yourself in the best position to win when things strike. And so, you know, I think as men, we're getting there. I'm definitely seeing more conversations around being open to taking a more holistic approach to life. So that's what I'm saying. Meditation, exercise. I'm gonna put the diet and stuff in there with exercise, but also, right, and this is important, challenging your bullshit. Okay, challenging your bullshit. As men, I know we think that we know everything. We're stubborn. We don't want to see things from a different perspective. We want to just go through and muscle through our way with things. But you have to be willing to call your BS out as a man. And the reason you have to be willing to call your BS out as a man is because if you're a man of importance, if you're going to be a significant man, then that means that at some point your decisions are going to impact other people. And you're only going to get what you put into other people. Like, that's the only thing you're going to get out is what you put in. So if you're a crappy man to other people, guess what? You're going to get that negative energy back. And that's going to impact your business. That's going to impact your marriage. That's going to impact the way your children respond to you. It's going to impact all of that. And as men, even though you may want to go back and forth with people to improve your point and this and that, and that's fine, in your own time, you need to reflect and call your own BS out so that you can constantly be improving. If you're not calling your own BS out and you're only surrounding yourself with yes people and you're only surrounding yourself with people that are going to agree with you and you're never challenging the maybe the tough conversations that you're getting into with people and trying to see it from other people's perspective, all you're going to do is put yourself in a position to where maybe you win the battle, but not the war. And as men, I think we definitely need to focus more on winning the war. And what is the war? The war is that constant need to I want to say the war is more long-term thinking. The war is you're fulfilled. The war is you have a happy marriage. The war is that you have a successful relationship with your children and that they want to talk to you when you out the house or when they move out the house and stuff like that. That's the war. So long-term thinking. And when you're able to put yourself in a position of where you're thinking long-term and making decisions based on what's best for your long-term health, then you're really going to be able to reset yourself as a man. Right? So I just wanted to get on and give you those quick 3 things. I want to do more videos like this where I'm talking about more positive things, really helping people put practical steps into their lives so that they can get better. I talk a lot about meditation, personal development. Your success is your responsibility, right? And I think that that's key to being a man as well, realizing that your success is your responsibility. And if you have a family and if you have a wife and all that other stuff, their success is usually tied to your success. So ultimately, accountability, but also understanding that you do need to reset, that you do need to be putting yourself in a position to live a holistic life. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Tap in if you found any value in this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is Fitz. Appreciate you.